Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. This is Fay Business Systems Group and Acton. Today we are doing a webinar on choosing marketing automation, the two must-haves that predict success. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jesse Heller. I'm the Marketing Director at Fay Business Systems Group. We are Acton Consulting Partner, and presenting for us today from Acton is Scott Alder. He's a channel account manager, marketing automation guru at Acton. So thanks for joining us, Scott.
You bet, Jesse. Always a pleasure and always a privilege.
All right. So just before our overview of Fay Business Systems Group, I just want to welcome everyone again and let you know that we hope we can make this webinar today as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions about marketing automation in general or other platforms that you may have been researching, feel free to put them in the chat box and we'll get to them as they come in. And we welcome all kinds of questions. So we hope that you take advantage of our marketing automation expertise. So Fay Business Systems Group, we're, like I said, an Acton consulting partner, and we've been using the platform for almost 3 to 3.5 years now. We loved it so much that we got on board and started working with it and consulting for Acton. We are a Sugar CRM partner, and we're based out of Los Angeles, though we have offices throughout the U.S. as well. We focus mainly on marketing automation and CRM and ERP software, and all of our activities are based around that. We are known in the Sugar CRM channel for building a suite of integrations that integrate all these different platforms with Sugar CRM. So if you're interested in learning more about any of the things that you see here, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it. So thanks for listening, and with that, I'm going to kick it over to Scott. Thanks, Scott.
Perfect. You bet, Jesse. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining today, this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. If you're up in the Northwest like me, you are sweltering under 100-degree temperatures for the next several days. So thank heavens for Mr. Carrier, who came through and invented air conditioning. He's the hero up here right now. So today we're going to talk about evaluating marketing automation, and evaluating it can be certainly a daunting task. It's a major investment and one that you are likely going to live with for a really long time. So it's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly and should be approached only after you know exactly what you're looking for. But there are so many vendors out there that are emphasizing, hey, our features are the ones that matter, and there's so many options from which to choose. How do you really know what's important? So for Acton, we've been around for almost 10 years now, and we have helped more than 5,000 companies and organizations worldwide leverage marketing automation to more quickly grow their businesses. And we've identified the two must-haves that, above all, drive success for any marketing automation implementation. Now, we're not going to make you wait until the very end, kind of like those movies on TV that you watch where they don't reveal the thing until the last 5 minutes after having multiple commercials, especially in the last 15 minutes of the show. We're going to give them to you right now. So the two that we've identified are time to value and ease of use. So Jesse, go ahead and next slide, please. So today's mission, as a modern marketer, you face mounting challenges. There's no question about it. Today's businesses, they rightfully expect their marketing departments to, demonstrate and show tangible contributions to the bottom line, and a consistent return on investment for the dollars invested there. But budgets are tight, so marketers are increasingly having to achieve the same, or ideally but better results, but with less money and fewer resources. The proverbial do more with less. At the same time, CEOs are now holding marketing leaders accountable for the same kind of data-driven results as their sales counterparts. So today's marketing leaders are expected to be creative, yet data-driven, influential, yet results-oriented, product savvy, yet focused on the big picture. And it's a tall order, one that plays a big part in the short average tenure of today's CMO. What we've seen is about 44 to 48 months in the U.S., and that's according to Forbes. That's compared to 6+ years for the average S&P 500 CEO. So, as a result, showing success solidly backed by data for your marketing automation implementation, boy, say that 5 times fast, is critical to both a company and on a personal level for you all as marketing leaders. A common measure for fast success when it comes to technology implementations is time to value, and a critical driver for time to value is ease of use. Next. So the teacher inside of me, at one point I thought that I was going to be a middle school social studies teacher. So I like to step back just for a second and make sure that we're all talking about the same thing and kind of on the same level playing field. So it's marketing automation. So really what it's doing is it's taking all these different technologies. It's taking your email marketing, your nurturing marketing, landing pages, surveys, web traffic, web tracking, social discovery. It's taking all these disparate technologies and bringing them together onto one platform that at the end of the day, very simply, it's getting the right message to the right person at the right time. Next. So let's take a look. First factor, ease of use, okay? Ease of use is criticality. It is no surprise when it comes to marketing automation. In a world where marketers are facing rising expectation, yet we talked about it before, shrinking budgets, they need a marketing automation platform that helps them do better work more efficiently and effectively. So while ease of use might seem fairly self-explanatory, it's comprised of many more facets now. Today, ease of use stretches beyond the daily needs of the marketing automation administrator or power user to how easy it is for IT and marketing operations to deploy, integrate, maintain, and support the platform for long term, and especially for new users as they come on board to become fluent within that technology. So it seems straightforward, right? Unfortunately, most marketing automation vendors have a hard time truly delivering ease of use to their customers. They often forgo it. Instead, delivering fancy but impractical, complex capabilities that the typical user won't use, let alone even try to deploy it. In the marketing automation world, higher complexity often means lower ease of use. And that's one thing, at the bottom here, it says, what stops marketers from making the most of marketing automation? And we'll jump to the next slide, Jesse, and we'll take a quick look. 42% of marketers say the most significant barrier to marketing automation success was the complexity of the system. And what are some complexity red flags you guys can look at for evaluating technologies? Go to the G2 crowd reviews, ask your peers, look for different reviews that are out there. We're going to provide you at the end of this a nice documentation piece that goes through and lists some of the complexity pieces to be on the eye for. Okay, next slide. So the second factor, the time to value. Technology's ease of use plays a big part in its calculated time to value, or TTV. TTV represents how much time it takes to realize the promised value of the solution itself. That's the time from you start the project to the time at which the business benefits exceed the cumulative cost. That's kind of a mouthful. So let's look at it a little bit differently in another way. It's how quickly you expect to receive benefit from your investment. And that's the time that it takes to reach perceived value from your, not the vendor's, perspective. Technology vendors and solutions that deliver us the fastest TTV to their customers, they're feature complete, not feature rich. So they provide the most friction-free, intuitive journey for their customers. Clear instructions, properly labeled buttons. When you press a button, it actually does what it says it's going to do. Simple menus for easy access settings. Key piece here, easy integrations with other key technologies. All these elements play a role in how quickly users can deploy, learn, and utilize a vendor's technology to achieve their business goals. Alternatively, feature-rich solutions, usually the result of acquisitions, they often attempt to achieve a quote-unquote all-in-one approach, but fall way short of meeting user expectations as individual components become dated and incompatible even with each other. So they constantly test and improve the user experience via user testing, product usage statistics. They continually tweak and optimize, identifying areas where just a small user experience improvement can make a big difference in the time to value. They go above and beyond when it comes to onboarding. They provide modern onboarding guides delivered in product and or via drip campaign emails and documentation. They feature clear deployment instructions, detailed best practices, and incremental learning opportunities. Encourage self-service with user-friendly online documentation. They typically lead the market with their best-in-class documentation, offering, and practices. Leveraging new technologies and best practices to continually impress and exceed the needs of their customers. They provide a customer success function for more advanced needs. They offer a customer success team that can assist with not only the setup, but offer personalized training sessions that can be a great first contact point for customers when they're needed. They help customers identify quantifiable goals and benchmark results against them. They advise customers on best practices for identifying, measuring, and then monitoring the metrics that determine success for their type of implementation. Next slide, Jesse. Key factor here, 44% marketers are not fully satisfied with their marketing automation system. The top 3 reasons are, shouldn't be a mystery out there, takes too long to implement, too difficult to learn, and it's too expensive. So what can companies do to reduce their implementation time? Rely on the professional services team, plan out the implementation with them, and use them as the experts that they are, and let them help you really master that journey out. So next slide. Okay, let's take a look at the analysis here of how we came up with some of this information. So it's easy to see why time to value and ease of use are important to those considering marketing automation. But more often than not, these important factors that you should be considering are overshadowed by the very things that degrade them. Things like a quote-unquote what if feature set that's rarely utilized. What if I might need to do that at some point in the future? Complex integrations with other applications that don't work out of the box. Today's age, you should have stuff that's going to just naturally work together out of the box. Familiarity with a platform or UI, even though it's stale, lackluster, and intuitive. So at Acton, we decided to put a spotlight on TTV and ease of use by mapping top marketing automation vendors against them. So based on the findings, we used the 2016 Forrester Wave report and the G2 Crowd Winter Marketing Automation report. We've defined specific criteria that we think determines both time to value and the ease of use. And here's where we rank for ease of use. here's the factors that we included: usability, likelihood to recommend, ease of use, ease of administration, ease of doing business, ease of partner marketing, and ease of use of social media marketing. For time to value, we analyzed platform customization. How easy is it? Data import and export tools, integration APIs, average user adoption, average implementation time to go live. That's from the point that you actually implement it into your system. How quickly can you actually start using it in the live world? The ROI, the average payback within months, and the reporting, analytics, and alerting. Let's take a look at the next slide there, Jesse. So here we go. As you can see from our analysis of the analyst reviewed criteria, Acton is a clear overall winner when you combine both the ease of use scores and the time to value scores. Acton is among the top of the heap for ease of use, and for time to value, we are the standout leader. We believe that in order to predict success with marketing automation, they're interconnected. You can't have one without the other. And if you evaluate marketing automation platforms for both, Acton stands out above the competition. And when you combine that with a CRM platform like Sugar, you guys are so far above the curve and above the competition, it's almost immeasurable how quickly that's actually going to work. So that's what we really just wanted to bring to your attention today. This is not a, beat you over the head, provide you with, every possible piece that you think you should be looking at. But Jesse, if we go ahead and take a look, I think that's what I wanted to cover. And if you could bring up, do we have any questions that have come through or anything like that?
Yeah, we did, Scott. You were talking a little bit about earlier the messiness of platforms that invest through acquisitions and how that can kind of become an issue for functionality, as some of the examples, like with, for example, Pardot. We've heard some of the same things, as well as some of the recent issues that Marketo has been having. So, you show the time to value and the ease of use graph, so what are some of the other differentiators? How is Acton compared to like Marketo and Pardot and HubSpot, if we were evaluating some of the more popular branded platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great question. It's one that you should be asking if you are in the process of doing evaluation. Either, maybe something like marketing automation is something you haven't thought of before, or you're using like just a simple email campaign. Maybe it's something even that you're considering making a change. So, some of the things that you should be looking at for all the vendors and things that we look at, some differentiators between Acton, is just some really great pre-built templates for you. There are easy ways to get the images into the library. One of the things I always say with Acton is if I can get it to work and do campaigns, you guys can certainly do that. It's, the intuitiveness, the ease of use, like we said, and the time to value, but just very simply, I look at it and I can build out campaigns without specifically knowing, and I don't know how to code in HTML, but you can absolutely make it work through that. The ability to build customized landing pages, integration with webinars, integration with being able to simply bring lists in. And here's the great thing, within Acton, you don't get charged for your entire database. That's a huge differentiating factor. I'll just let that word go. What you can actually see is some of the analyst reports are saying the ability for Acton to be so robust yet so affordable is a huge differentiating factor for us that we rely on third parties to say. I mean, we'll obviously say it, but bring in your entire database. We're not going to charge you for that. That's the huge factor, because that way you can manipulate your data however you need to within Acton and set up different campaigns, different drip campaigns. Those are just some of the things that we call out specifically as far as differentiators between those folks. And we always remember to renew our certificates when they come due.
And then how many resources generally, or users, how many people need to be dedicated to the marketing automation platform itself to really be successful with it?
Sure, that comes up quite a bit. There's a lot of great automated programs that you can put into place. So we've got marketing teams that are 2 or 3 marketing people. I've actually got one customer, it's one guy doing it. And what comes back is, because so much of this can be automated, so much of the figuring out, what type of bounces are we having, what type of campaigns have actually been successful, which ones do we need to tweak here and there. The automated workflows, some of the front end work can be something that's going to take a little bit of time, but gosh, once you get those set up, it's not wrong code, set it and forget it. But I'll tell you what, in some ways it feels pretty dang near close to that, because the workflows just work and they're very easy to change. So again, we see 1 and 2 folk marketing teams make Acton work, up to folks where they have 14, 15, 20 different marketing people within it doing different campaigns. There's a case study that we'll want to include on this that you can always download from the website, but it's on Jonas Construction Software. That's one of the things that they were able to leverage quite a bit, was the automated campaigns that we can help set up with you. They've got multiples running. What it came back with saying is, it's freeing up my marketing team to continue to be creative and to continue to go after new ways of doing business better, because of the way that the Acton automated campaigns are working for us. Anything else, Jesse?
Okay, great. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, the one other question was, for some of the people that are newer to marketing automation platforms, they mentioned they were just using like a basic email marketing tool, team of one type of thing. So what kind of resources are available if you're using a platform, I guess, like marketing automation platform like Acton, for example? Like, what's the support you get versus maybe the support you might get from some of the other platforms that are available?
Sure, great question. So one of the first things that you will find with Acton is a huge resource within the platform itself as far as online help. We call it Acton University. And one of the things that we're going to do when you come on with Acton is we're going to take you through Acton University, and you're actually going to graduate from Acton University. We are going to work with you to establish some criteria for success. Specifically, what are you guys saying success looks like? We're going to map that back to how the platform can actually help you. Once you're through that, doesn't mean that you're cut off from support. If you run into a problem, we've got a support line that you can access either through email or phone. Either way, we don't charge extra for that. You've also got, maybe for some of the more complex stuff, you would want to reach out to our customer success team. A lot of this is free support that we give you. Now, if you want to get, really deep into the weeds, certainly that can be something that would be maybe a professional services engagement. Now, that's something that Faye could work with you on, or one of our different partners that would specifically be with professional services. But, with Acton, we don't believe in nickel and diming you to death for everything. We want you to be successful with it. So that's why we make the support lines available to you, the service lines available to you, the knowledge base within the platform itself. We don't say, thank you for buying, go have fun storming the castle, boys. We will be with you for the entire journey. And again, reaching out to the customer success team is as simple as sending an email saying, hey, I need help with X, Y, and Z, or I'm trying to deploy a campaign and something's happening. I had one situation where a guy had upped the number of active contacts that he was getting ready to send out. And for some reason, he came back and said, man, these additional 2,000 contacts that I just put in here, I tried to send, and it only sent out a handful of them. What in the world is going on? Well, okay, let's get you on with support right away. And what they found out, it was just a simple thing of saying, oh, when you uploaded this list, this particular group here, you forgot to check just this one button. He was up and running within 15 minutes because our support time came back to him so quickly and wanted to make him successful with it. We knew that there was something basic that probably hadn't been done, but the fact that he was able to be up and running, what he said was, Scott, your support team saves my bacon because I need to give my boss a report on the deliverability for this new list that we brought in, and I was scared to death I was going to have to go in and say, we weren't able to deliver anything, and that would have raised some red flags, but the support team is on immediately with us. So, you know, success story right there. That's
great. There is one final question on implementation. So if you move forward using Acton, you know, how long does it really generally take to get set up and start sending out your first campaign?
Yeah, I actually had one company that I was working with that said, literally, Scott, we got to get a campaign out in 2 weeks. Can you help us do that? The immediate answer was, yeah, we can help you get that first campaign out in 2 weeks. In general, what we would like to see is a 30, 60, 90-day implementation. Now, if you are under constraints, obviously like the company that I was working with that said they had to get something out immediately. And we did that one as a one-off, a lot of hand-holding and helping them. So what was great, that was kind of real world that they needed to do it. So what happened was the campaign was something that we could set up as a recurring piece. But, you know, it depends on how many factors involved in actually getting together and mapping out what success is going to look like, and working with the partner like Sugar and with Acton folks. Really, I've seen the average time is 30 to 45 days to be up and completely running within implementation. Again, the emphasis is if you need to be up and running faster, we can certainly meet that criteria. It means that there's going to be some extra work on your side, some extra studying that needs to be done per se. Again, within the platform, we've got all these guides available to you, and they are not sleep aids. They're actually well written. You can go through some video guides as well to get really familiar with the platform. But working with Acton and, you know, our success team, if you need to be up and going right away, we can meet that timeline. We just need to clearly establish early on that there is a critical need and what that's going to look like and how we're going to achieve it together. And again, the emphasis is together. We're not going to just put it up and hope that you make it work. We will work with you and handhold and get you from a crawl, walk, run as quickly as possible, all on your timeline. So kind of a rambling answer, but that's, in general, that's what we see, Jesse, is, you know, 30 to 45 days is pretty average, but we certainly have had customers up running a lot faster.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And that really brings us to the end of our webinar for today. So we really appreciate you joining us. And if you've got any further questions, feel free to reach out and send us a note. We appreciate you joining. We do these pretty often. We've got our next Acton webinar coming up on September 7th, so we'll make sure you get an invite for that. And if you have any questions at all for myself or Scott, you can just shoot me an email or find us on our websites, and we'll get back to you